Hello, my name is Savon. Today I would like to talk to you about a film that I've been working on, about history and also lifestyle. I'm talking about war, but not basically war. Tell you the truth, everybody knows about war is the chaos, destruction it causes. But I believe that it has a strong impact with African Americans. Not just war, but also daily lives. So I would like you to come to me with this journey as I speak about African Americans in each war, including outside of the war. African Americans fighting their rights and freedom. I would like to thank anybody who will watch this program and have great knowledge and knowing the truth. Thank you. Let's start from the beginning. By the 1775, more than half a million African Americans, freed and enslaved, were living in the 13 colonies. Widespread talk of liberty gave thousands of slaves high expectations, and many were ready to fight for a democratic revolution that might offer them freedom. In the 1775, many free and enslaved African Americans were willing to take arms against the British. By the end of the war, from 5,000 to 8,000 blacks had served the American cause, with some captured either on the battlefield behind the lines of non-combat roads or on the seas. By 1777, some states begun interact laws that encouraged white owners to give their slaves for the army in return for their establishment bounties, or allowing masters to use slaves as submission when they or their sons were drafted. The Declaration of Independence promised liberty for all men, but fails to put the end of slavery. As early as the 1858, the growing conflict between North and South over the issue of slavery had led the Southern leadership to discuss a unified suspension from the United States. Volunteers from South Carolina, Tennessee, and Massachusetts filled the first Operation Black Regiment. Recruitment was slow until black leaders such as Frederick Douglass encouraged black men to become soldiers. By the end of the Civil War, roughly 179 black men, 10% of the Union Army, served as soldiers in the U.S. Army, and others 19,000 served in the Navy. Nearly 40,000 black soldiers died over the course of the war. 30,000 of infection and disease. Black women who cannot formally join the army necessarily serve as nurse, spies, and scouts. The most famous being Harriet Tubman, who scouted for the 2nd South Carolina Volunteers. A transformative moment in African American history. The war directly impacted all African Americans, male, female, northern, southern, soldier, civilian, migration, military service. August 1914, most African Americans included, saw no reason for the United States to become involved. But however, the black oppressed sides with the French because of its comments to racial equality. African Americans have witnessed the bloodshed and destruction during the war overseas, which had a strong impact in their everyday lives. Between 1914 and 1920, roughly 500,000 black Southerners packed their bags and head to North, fundamentally transforming the social, culture, and political landscape of cities such as New York, Chicago, through illegal and extra-legal means. World War II was a global war that lasted from 1939 to 1945. African Americans recognized the paradox of fighting a war for freedom while being subject to prejudice practice in the United States. Prior to World War II, most black were low-wage farmers, factory workers, and servants. War-related work was booming, but also most black were not given the better paying jobs. They were also discouraged from joining the military. After thousands of blacks threatened to march to the Washington to demand equal employment rights, President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued Execute Order 8802 on June 25th, 1941. It opened national jobs and other government jobs to all Americans regardless of race, creed, color, and national origins. Black men and women served heroically in World War II, despite the suffering of segregation and discrimination during their apartment. Yet many were met with prejudice and scorn upon returning home. This was a stark contrast to why America had entered the war to begin with, to defend freedom and democracy in the world. That is the ending of part 1 of Freedom is Free. I really hope you enjoy your journey a little bit. Don't worry, I have one more to come, part 2, and I am very excited to do this for you guys, and I can't wait to see you with me in this journey. This is Savon. Have a nice day.